Welcome to Rate the Audits, where we put misconduct on display, explore police and legal content, protect rights and demand accountability. When we see a police officer in uniform, we expect professionalism, integrity, and a commitment to uphold the law. But what happens when those expectations are shattered? In December 2024, the nasty case of former North Yorkshire Police Constable Simon Barker surfaced, exposing not just an individual failure, but deep institutional flaws within the police force. This story is more than just a scandal. It's a case study in misconduct, accountability, and the public's right to trust those who enforce the law. Before I start, I would greatly appreciate if you could like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. Simon Barker was not just any officer, he was a sworn constable, entrusted with upholding the law. Instead, he exploited his position in a police station, an institution meant to serve the public. Barker filmed himself engaging in a solo sex act while in full uniform, inside a secure police facility, and then sent the footage via WhatsApp to his partner on February 25, 2022. To understand the gravity of this situation, we must examine the details of the case. Beyond Barker's personal actions, this case highlights a culture that enables this kind of behavior to persist unchecked. It raises concerns about the lack of accountability, transparency, and whether those in power can act with impunity within an institution meant to uphold justice. The slow response and lack of immediate consequences for Barker demonstrates systemic failures in how police forces address internal misconduct. The fact that Barker knowingly recorded and distributed such content indicates not just personal misconduct, but a potential sense of impunity within the force. A police station is a professional environment where critical decisions affecting people's lives are made. That Barker felt safe enough to commit this act within those walls speaks volumes about the lack of oversight and accountability within North Yorkshire Police. What makes this case even more troubling is the brazenness of the act. Officers are subject to strict conduct rules, and engaging in any form of inappropriate behavior while in uniform is not just an ethical breach, but a direct violation of police policies. How did Barker believe he could get away with this? Was it sheer arrogance, or did he have reason to believe that his actions would be overlooked? This was not an incident caught by internal monitoring. Barker's misconduct only came to light because of his partner, who reported receiving the explicit video. If she had not come forward, would Barker have faced any consequences at all? Most likely not, which makes this case even more disturbing. Following the report, an investigation began, yet Barker remained in his position for nearly 2 years. There were no publicly disclosed efforts to expedite the process, raising questions about whether the delay was due to bureaucratic inefficiencies or a reluctance to take decisive action. This prolonged timeline further eroded public confidence in the force's ability to address internal misconduct promptly. This prolonged timeline suggests either internal inefficiencies or a deliberate reluctance to act, both of which reflect serious institutional shortcomings in addressing misconduct. Instead of swift accountability, the delay allowed Barker to continue serving despite clear evidence of the wrongdoing. He resigned on December 9, 2024, just 1 day before his scheduled misconduct hearing, allowing him to exit the force on his own terms rather than being dismissed outright. Despite this, the hearing proceeded and the evidence was overwhelming. Barker was found guilty of misconduct and placed on the police barred list, preventing him from serving in law enforcement again. This delay in action is significant. If the misconduct of an ordinary citizen had been reported, the response would have been immediate. The fact that an officer was able to continue working for so long after such a blatant violation suggests either a reluctance to pursue disciplinary measures against fellow officers or serious inefficiencies within the internal investigative process. The real issue here isn't just Barker, it's the system that allowed him to continue serving for so long after the offence. Let's break this down. The act took place in February 2022. Nearly 2 years passed before a formal hearing was conducted. If he was already under investigation, why was resignation even an option? Would a lower-ranking officer or civilian staff member have been given the same opportunity? The fact that an outside party, his partner, had to report the misconduct is concerning. If an officer feels safe enough to film explicit content in uniform at work, it suggests a failure in internal supervision and culture. For an institution that demands public trust, North Yorkshire Police's handling of this case sends a troubling message. This is not an isolated incident. Other forces across the UK have faced similar scandals, revealing systemic issues in how police misconduct is handled. The Metropolitan Police, for example, has dealt with multiple cases of officer misconduct in recent years. highlighting a disturbing trend of delayed accountability and systemic protection of officers. When patterns like these emerge across different police forces, it raises serious concerns about whether the system is truly designed to serve the public or to protect those within it. If this is how they address internal misconduct, how can the public be confident that more serious infractions, those impacting citizens, are dealt with appropriately? Chief Constable Tim Forber admitted that Barker's actions were a disgrace, acknowledging that such behaviour is likely to seriously undermine public confidence in the force, and he's right. Barker's case exemplifies a broader concern that police officers often face fewer consequences for misconduct compared to ordinary citizens, further deepening public distrust. When those in power are held to a different standard, public trust in law enforcement erodes. At its core, the Simon Barker case is about more than just an officer's gross misconduct. It's about a system that failed to act decisively. This case should serve as a wake-up call. The public deserves transparency. Officers who violate their oath should face swift and decisive consequences. Above all, law enforcement must undergo a culture shift, one that ensures the badge is worn with honor, not as a shield against accountability. That's it for this one. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, comment and share. Let me know what you want to see next. This is Rate the Audits. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next video.